Hello, founders. Welcome to another Founder Friday. If you're watching this in 2024, this is going to be my last video that I'm recording for this year before I see you in 2025. If you're watching this in 2025, I want you to pay particular attention because I'm going to make some predictions of what I think is going to happen. And the reason I'm super excited, I believe 2025 is going to be the best year yet for startups, founders, and raising early stage capital, really any stage capital, compared to what we've been experiencing since 2021 and the nuclear winter we've gone through. This video is for my community. I'm not going to go through the typical introduction of myself, but I just want to reflect upon what I've gone through. It's been another year working at startups.com as a chief strategy officer. I've advised over 600 startups, active members right now, as well as 4,000 alumni have gone through our program. I couldn't believe it. I went and looked at the numbers and I said, wow, this is crazy. And we've had so many great things happen. We've also had challenges. I had personal health challenges, and I've been dealing with that since like March or April, and it's still going on, and it hasn't been resolved yet. And I appreciate everybody who's wished me well and provided the support and been concerned for me, both inside my inner circles and out there on the interwebs, out there on YouTube. It's been completely appreciated. Your support has been so encouraging, and it's the reason I keep doing this. For a lot of founders, it's been so tough trying to raise capital. I've seen startups that have gone belly up. I've met founders who are now disillusioned. Some founders are very resentful and very bitter. Other founders are saying, okay, this is part of the process and I need to be a little more optimistic and learn. I've taken my lumps and they're getting better. And I'm starting to see these improvements. But I think a lot of founders are saying, I can't wait to get out of 2024. It was tough. We went through an election. Everything kind of froze, waiting to see what the election would do. And then now that we've got Trump as the president, I'm in Canada, but I say we because what happens in the US economically affects everybody else. But there's this new, fresh optimism that's happening, and we're going to start to see the inflation report is supposed to come out as the time of this recording. We're going to hope that there's some Fed rate cuts, which is going to make capital cheaper. These are all the things that I think about on a regular basis. I have to because I need to advise my investors, LPs, the general partners that I work with, as well as the founders and the advisors and the community at large. And that's what I'm here to do because as I share all the time, as a 7-time funded founder with 2 exits, I've made a ton of mistakes, and I don't want to repeat those mistakes. And understanding that history doesn't necessarily repeat itself, but it does rhyme, and we can understand the cycles. And human nature tends to do the repetition, tends to fall in the same traps. And I don't want any of you to fall into the typical traps that I've fallen into and that I've seen other founders fallen into. And that's the reason I want to be completely vulnerable. I want to get out there and just give you an unfiltered and transparent look and tell you what's going on in my mind with these types of videos. With all that being said, let's talk about what I'm expecting for 2025. It is super exciting for me. Why? Because we just went through a cycle and technology has been reset. We're talking about this revolution that has been bubbling and finally burst open, where AI has completely changed the game. Think about what's happened even in, let's say, the SaaS industry. And people are starting to talk about it right now. The SaaS, what we're used to be databases with real cool interfaces and process improvements to remove friction. And we built these things and we charged companies monthly for it. That was new and it was exciting. And then everything goes to cloud with that. Then we have AI, we have automation. And now we're talking about AI with AI agents for different verticals. And people have these new tools with access to LLM models. And there's this new ecosystem. And that means founders now get to go back to those industries or those verticals that have been completely saturated with incumbents and competition with deep pockets. And now we're talking about there are cracks, there are openings, there are places where founders can now wedge their cool solution with new chat-based interfaces, with new ways where you've got an AI agent that accesses all these databases together and computes it and then spits out something logical with new reasoning models out there. It's crazy. And I've been experimenting with them, as my last video talked about, in terms of developing MVPs with AI. And I am super bullish. And now there's going to be focus on new ways to apply that AI. And the other super exciting thing is the tech IPOs they're doing pretty darn good. I'm looking at the market. I'm going, this is exciting. And so people are going to be thinking, man, how do I get in on the alpha? And they're going to say, how do I get in and invest in these companies before they go IPO and I lose out on that opportunity? And the money's going to filter down as the checks have always stayed strong when it comes to pre-seed. If you look at the data out there, the checks for pre-seed companies under $1 million, raising $1 million, have stayed consistent. It's been the A rounds and the B rounds that have not been getting funded at the same level. Why? Because there's been this shift in terms of what is on trend, what is working, what people are predicting, what people are worried about. And you look at valuations of those SaaS companies out there, you're starting to see new opportunity, and everything goes in cycles. So now you as a founder, you can start to use those AI tools that are so accessible to start creating cool MVPs to solve problems that haven't been addressed, or get more into the minutia, more into details, and start to go and tackle these big competitors and start to eat their lunch a little bit, a little bite at a time. And to me, I'm all for it. And I want to advise those founders. I want you out there. You might be the next Mark Zuckerberg, but not to create Facebook, but Mark Zuckerberg that uses AI to create the next way that social networking happens, that people meet each other, that people go to events, people socialize. That might be you. You might be someone who figures out a new way to prompt AI and create a proprietary data set that people can feed into, and it becomes dynamic, and maybe it's owned by everybody. Maybe there's a completely different monetization model. Who knows? There's so many things we don't know. And that's what gets me super excited, because the old guard, well, it's time to step aside and let the young guns come in and try some cool, crazy, wacky things. And I am super excited. I can't say this enough, and I want to invite you along on the journey. So once again, if you've been going through some tough times, chin up. I've been going through the tough times too. We all take it on the chin. Let's get together and continue to engage with one another and be a community. And I look forward to all your feedback, and I want to know what you want to talk about. What do you want to learn in 2025 as we explore this total shifting landscape? The old is gone, the new has come, but some things are never going to change. But I look forward to all the things that get disrupted, turned upside down, and start to create new ways that we can engage and we can be startup founders together. Thanks again for all of you and all your support who've been along on this journey here. Some of you have been right there at the beginning, commenting on every video, encouraging me right from the beginning, giving me those signals to get to where we are today. And I appreciate all of you. Happy holidays. Enjoy your time off. Say hi to some loved ones. Go love on them. Make sure that you recalibrate what's important. And then let's get ready for an amazing 2025. I'll see you in the next video.